Welcome everybody. Today's video, we're gonna go outside of Baku and we're gonna go over to these ancient petroglyphs. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's about 60 or 70 kilometers outside of Baku. So we're gonna go over there and we're gonna check it out. These are petroglyphs that date back 40,000 years, they estimate. And so there's like a kind of a cool area. There's a bunch of caves and all of that. So we'll go check them out. It's supposed to be the highest density of petroglyphs that go from, some really big ones that were really ancient to some smaller ones that were carved in like the late Middle Ages. So anyway, let's go see what we see and kind of enjoy this. Yeah, this is the famous double gates right here. Oh, it's just beautiful. This is what it looks like inside the old city. This is a great area. We've been down here for 3 days and kind of walking around and exploring this. And the office for the My Tour Baku is just up this road a little bit off to the right. All right, so we'll just wait for the rest of the group to get here and we'll get on the bus. All right, so there's our tour guide, Reza. Everybody's finally here. Now we'll go get on the vehicle. Yeah, this looks like the vehicle.
Azerbaijan. Доброе утро всем. Зовут меня Рза. Буду вашим экскурсоводом сегодня и добро пожаловать в Азербайджан. As you can understand, the tour will be conducted in 2 languages, English and Russian. But don't worry, I can switch from one language to another.
Okay, so after about an hour on the bus thing, here we are. This is the whole reason we wanted to come, is to go to this Gobustan. This is the UNESCO World Heritage Site here. Now there's petroglyphs and caves all through this whole area, the Black Mountains of. And so in 1950 they made this park here and it became a UNESCO site in 2007. It's one of the 4 UNESCO sites in Azerbaijan. So you can see here, these are the petroglyphs. So these date back 20,000 years. This area used to be forested. The Caspian Sea would get larger or smaller, just different things. So there's a lot more rain here. And then whenever the climate changed, the forests went away, the animals went away, and the Gobek people migrated out of here. They don't know where they left, but they did leave stories of their daily life here in petroglyphs. So you can see the petroglyphs here. So this is a boat with the sun. And down here, I think, are the shamans. Oh, this is really cool. So these petroglyphs here, they say, are 9,000 years old. So this part right here, they call the Mother's Cave. It has the highest concentration of petroglyphs in the park. There's about 250 of them inside and out. And you can see here this number. This is from the Soviet era. They came in here and they mapped all the petroglyphs in the whole
English
park.
speakers, I'm going to need you to stand
So
as
right
close as possible to this cliff over here. They say this is the first ever petroglyph of a human, and it's a female. And as you can see, no heads. This is the neck. This is the chest area, the torso, and the hip. No legs, no arms. Hunter, there's a weapon on the back. If you look through into
So they say this is the earliest petroglyph of a female right here. And then there's some others that are added on later over here. The earlier ones didn't draw the women with heads and limbs. Later on they did. You can see the man right here. He's even got fingers. And they got animals. They got all kinds of stuff here. So they got smaller as they got newer. And then up here, this is the first letter of the Arabic alphabet. So this has been added on much later than these original. This female here is 18th century, 18th millennium BC. Check this out. This is a 3rd millennium petroglyph. So they got a horse with somebody riding the horse. All right, so let's go into the cave. So this is the first place that they were living in this area. You can see how it's eroded and collapsed down. And there's petroglyphs just all on the side here. Oh, this is just absolutely fantastic. So here you can see them, they're pretty faint up here. So the early ones were larger, they say, and then the ones that were added millennium later were smaller, probably due to running out of space. And they recorded their daily lives, everything else here on these stones. Yeah, so you can see all the carvings here. And you can see how it's eroded. That piece of the stone right above there is gone. So whatever they carved into the stone is lost forever. This really reminds me of Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. There was a petroglyphs there that were carved by the Anasazi. And the same thing, that sandstone was easy to carve in, but it also flaked off. So you can see here, here's a human figure right here. Oh, this is really cool. And then there's a smaller human figure up here. Yeah, so you can see an animal here, and then a person up here with his arms up. They say, it's conjecture, but they say that they were doing a dance, which they still do a similar dance to what they think of this in Azerbaijan. There's another person. More over here. It just all these little nooks and crannies here have carvings into them. And what's interesting, right below the 31 right there is a swastika. So it definitely clearly predates the modern iteration of it. So they say that represents the sun and the moon, is what they say. And you can see all this sandstone. Yeah, so they allow you to look at about 30% of the total park. 70% is not accessible to the public. So they call this the bull shelter. Check that out. There's two bulls right there on the outside. So they found a large concentration of bulls, also some people, boats, unidentified objects also. You can see there's a boat right there. So these stones right here would have been the top of this cave. This would have been enclosed at one point. Oh, this is great. So you have a boat right here that's a large petroglyph. Then you have a bull right here. It's missing the head that's eroded off. So there's probably petroglyphs underneath these stones, but erosion has faded some of them off. But they may be preserved, the ones that have fallen down, that have been protected from the elements. So right here, you can see the back of the bull is missing. You can see where it's kind of waters ran down this front. The sandstone just erodes so easily, and it's impossible to protect these because this cave system is just so massive. So down here, this is Hunter's Cave. So they have a petroglyph of a bull here with a rope around its neck. You can see it right there. So they're saying it was domesticated. And then there's another bull here. So they found a lot of hunting tools inside of this cave whenever they excavated it. So they call this the Hunter's Cave. It's not really a place to live, but they found like a workshop. So this is a wild boar being chased by a dog over here. And they found all kinds of tools inside. And they also found right here, you can see these holes. So these are artificially drilled right here. So they say that they started domesticating animals. You can see there's one here, and they could use this to tie it off. And then there's more over outside here. So here we have two bulls. There's a horse overlaid on one. It was probably added later. And then these are two pregnant women right here from the pagan era with no heads, no arms. But you can see the silhouette, the belly sticking out. And then you have some more petroglyphs over here. So you can see 49 is the panel over here. Now during the Soviet era, they came and they cleaned them. And they actually even used toothpaste on the lines so you could see them. But UNESCO doesn't allow anything at all to be done to them. So they'll just sit here and weather now. There's no way to protect them, and they want them to keep them original. So in a few 100 years, there'll just be the memories of it. Yeah, so this is the view here. So you can see the Caspian Sea way over there. So probably when this was occupied, this was probably underwater right down there, the lower level that's kind of flat. So they would have been up here at a little higher level, and this would have all been forested. There would have been animals, everything else. Oh, this is fascinating. And at one time, this was all underwater. There's shells and everything else that make up the sandstone. Here, this is a Middle Ages petroglyph. So there's a one-hump camel right there. Yeah, so what we have here is they came here and they chiseled these holes in the rock. This was used to collect water, and they also would use it to cook. They thought this was a kitchen. And they think the lines here are an early filtration system. They'd pour water in it, and it would separate the dirt from the water. They would put hot stones down in here, and then they could cook their meat and vegetables. And they say this one here is in the shape of a pomegranate, which means like life or fertility, I think. Okay, so what this is right here is they think this might be like one of the earliest musical instruments. So they would use this to make some sounds. And you see them like at some of the temples, they'll have like a hanging stone and people come and bang on it with a stick. Here they used it with, it's a porous stone, and they used the other piece of limestone to bang on it to make some sound. And they did rituals up here, sacrificing the animals, stuff like that. Well, that's going to finish up our video at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a little bit of a hike to get out there, little drive. You can hire a taxi or however you want to go, or go by a tour. There's a lot of them that go out of Baku, but it's definitely worth it. There's like 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Azerbaijan, and that one's really cool. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you get to see some more content like this. And if you have any questions or comments, if you've been there, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them if you have any questions. And until next time, from here in Baku, remember, life is a journey. So until next time, enjoy.